Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure. This is Get Back to Work, a series in which I tackle a topic while doing some simulation of some description. Today we're in the train sim world and we're on the Castle Würzburg line and are doing something very thrilling in that regard. Well, we're driving the ICE a long way and very quickly. Well, we will be going very quickly, assuming of course I can keep us on the straight and narrow. Let's crank all of these on. Yeah, good. Anyway, today's topic was submitted pretty much 2 months ago. I did say it would take me a while to get through them, but we're talking Subnautica. Right, I've got 30 seconds or so before we've got to kick off. So the request comes from Stephen, and Stephen says, "Hello, Colonel. That's me. Perhaps my favourite game over the last few years has been Subnautica. I believe I recall you saying that you'd tried the game. Given that it's a survival light building game, I thought it might appeal to you. Can you discuss the game and your thoughts about it? How would you change it to improve it for your tastes? Feel free to play whatever you like. If push, I'd say one of the train sims. One of the train sims. It's like magic, I have one awaiting. In French. Right, good. Okay, well look, first things first, I've not played enough Subnautica. I have barely touched the surface. I think I've played maybe the first 45 minutes to an hour. I think I've played that twice, maybe 3 times, and loved it. There you go. That's it. That's my review. I've played the first hour 2 or 3 times, loved it. Thank you very much. Why haven't I played more? That's the question. That's the question you should be asking. Let's talk about what it is. Firstly, it's what it nails is survival game plus story. Now, that limits it a little bit, rather like Planet Crafter. I don't know if you watch Planet Crafter or not, but when I played Planet Crafter, the shortcoming that Planet Crafter has, or excuse me, at least had during the early access phase that I joined in the fun, was that you were somewhat prescribed the way that you had to play the game. If you wanted to make any progress, you had to do it in a fairly regimented, in a kind of fixed kind of a way. And it's because there is an emergent storyline that kind of goes along with it. There is a certain amount of tech tree dependence that sits waiting on you to do the next thing, whatever that might be. It's not necessarily a criticism, but it means that you don't have the total freedom that is one of the things that really floats my boat when it comes to a survival game. And that's, I mean, if that covers everything from Minecraft all the way up to RimWorld, is you've got a great deal of choose your own adventure going on in there. Whereas with a storyline associated with it, the choose your own adventure element it's narrowed down to the point where you've really got to do things a certain way. Again, it's not a criticism because the core gameplay is great. And the whole ship exploding business, not a spoiler, it happens in the first half an hour. The whole ship exploding business, terrific. It's really great fun. So why haven't I played any more of it? No, let's do some more. The base building, what I got into, was good. If anything, I thought that you were a little limited on the amount of storage that you had. But I didn't get far enough into it to know whether that was something you were always going to be limited by. I've got a lot of wheel slip going on here. Snowy, you see, snowy. Yeah, God, what can you do? Yeah, a little limited, but I didn't get far enough through to know whether that was just early doors or whether that was something inherent to the way that the game's designed. I suspect it's the former rather than the latter. Also, there are a suite of survival games, and it escapes me for the moment to name any, that go out of their way to limit how much stuff you can hoard. And for my money, hoarding is part of the appeal. It's just like, I'll have that and that and that and that, and I'll keep them in there. I've no idea if I'm going to need them later on. Build me another 3 storage chests and I'll be happy. Yeah, no, just give me as much clobber as you possibly can. I'm well into it. But hey, I mean, you know, it's a very thin criticism. Swimming around underwater, great. The aquatic wildlife that you see there, great. The style and tone, and obviously Planet Crafter does a nod in the general direction of Subnautica and goes, we kind of like the aesthetic you've got going on there, we'll do it too. There's no harm in that. Every game design ever stands on the shoulders of the giants that came before, even if only in a small way of you use these keys to move around. We don't need to relearn a lot of stuff, and therefore nicking the aesthetic from somewhere else, there's no harm in that. No, and I mean that kind of plasticky look to things, you know, plasticized metal look from things is, you know, that's straight out of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Evolved, obviously, but at the same time, it feels relatively realistic, in inverted commas, for a science fiction adventure. So let's get to the meat and bones, because I can't give you any more than that, I'm afraid, Stephen. Not on Subnautica itself, but I can talk about why I haven't played more of it. And part of that comes down to the amount of time sink involved. Survival games, they want you to give up everything else that you've got going on. I mean, if you're gonna get the most out of them, cancel all other plans. It's like massively multiplayer games. I mean, I was a huge massively multiplayer game player in the late 90s, early 2000s, and the reason that I never stuck with EVE Online, and I've started EVE Online 4 or 5 times, spent an entire afternoon grinding away mining asteroids, and then just gone, nope, can't do it. I can't. The last time I did it was probably 12 years ago, but even then, can't do it, because I know how much of my time I will want to sink into it to the deficit of everything else, and therein lies the problem. When I picked up Subnautica, it was doing the rounds on YouTube channels and being YouTube fodder. I'm a YouTubist, just so you're aware. I don't know if you'd spotted that or not. And being a YouTubist and having a full-time job it's quite an ask on your time, and it's quite an ask on your family as well, because you're sacrificing other hobbies, and you're sacrificing other things that you might get up to in order to pursue both. When you've got the bit between your teeth making videos, then it's all you think about. It is utterly addictive because of the positive feedback loop that you see. Release video, people watch the video, you get a few comments, you get a few thumbs up, it encourages you to go and do a bit more. That encouragement is amplified significantly if you notice that you're growing. So if your last 5 videos did better than the 5 that came before, you kind of go, I'm off to the races. And it's very, very addictive. It's much, much harder. It's very, very difficult to get the same start that I did. I started YouTubing right at the end of right at the end of the golden age for Let's Play. There was maybe a year to 18 months left of the golden age of Let's Play, whereby really all you had to do was bung up some gameplay, not have too off-putting a bit of commentary to go alongside it, and people would watch it. It was and still is. It remains to be a great way to find out about new games. You've seen all the blurb on the store page, and you're going to go, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, let's see it in action. So you go and watch that YouTubist that you trust more than the other YouTubists. You see them playing it, and you trust them for a reason. If they like it, chances are you will as well. So great, you've got your personalised recommendation of, is this my kind of game? Why are you still showing that I'm interlocked? I shouldn't be interlocked. No, maybe I need to go throttle off. Oh, I interlocked by applying the brake while I had minimum throttle applied. Okay, that's fine. Okay, these things happen. No, that's my fault. I didn't down tempo as much as I should have. Yeah, I know all the stuff about driving trains now. You know, oh yeah, all of it. The reason I've not got the PZB turned, I've gone with CIFA because got to keep your mind on the business to some degree. But PZB is voodoo, and I don't understand it sufficiently to avoid getting tripped up all of the ruddy time. I'm gonna have to learn it. I'm just gonna have to. I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and do PZB based routes and different routes each time, so that rather than learn a particular route and how it's employed PZB, understand the fundamentals. But I digress. It makes it much more fun playing with safety systems. Oh boy, much more fun, much more engaging to have to keep your wits about you a bit. I'm trying to go for a halfway decent score, you see, so I'm keeping an eye on the speed. What were you talking about? What was I talking about? YouTube heuristic. Right. One of the reasons that I didn't play Subnautica is I couldn't afford the time in amongst doing my YouTubery, right? And the reason I didn't cover it on my channel is because it already had saturation coverage. It already had so many channels covering it. I was not going to get any breakthrough. Back in the day, and this still holds true to a greater or lesser extent, in order to make a successful video game video, you would need to get there first. That's all there is to it. Either bring an existing audience with you who will watch something that is related to their interests, and that interest could be you as a personality, or get there as early as possible. Some of my most successful series have been purely because I got there first. With Transport Fever, I got there first. That's why I became Mr. Transport Fever, because I got there first, and that it was largely ignored by bigger channels. There were maybe half a dozen different channels, maybe 4 or 5 only, that were English speaking, that covered Transport Fever at launch, and we did quite nicely out of that. Thank you very much. And so, yeah, chasing after that first punch in order to land the traffic becomes an obsession. So you go, all right, okay, let's go, hit it. And then you find that a couple of channels with 1 million plus subscribers between them have got there at the same time. You just kind of go, this is futile. I'm not going to get anything from this, because you only get the people you've already converted. And as time goes on, the people you've already converted are great, but you're always looking for, how do I get some more people? I think I'm capable of more than this. I think I've got a channel that will appeal to, over its lifetime, will appeal to 100,000 subscribers, right? And therefore, how do I get in front of the other 30,000 that I'm short? Well, not by doing the same that I'm doing at the moment, but that's an entirely different topic. So let's move beyond that. So yeah, first punch becomes very, very first past the post, critical to your success. I slowed down there when I should have been maxing my throttle. Never mind, we just got a bit of tunnel action to go. Let's have a honk. There you go. I hope that was as good for you as it was for me. Yeah, these days getting there first is even more difficult. Even more difficult for a multitude of reasons, and those reasons cover the likes of: there are way more people trying to be successful now than there were previously. You've got short form video, whether that's Instagram or TikTok or YouTube flipping shorts, that hoover up eyeballs on stuff that you want. People go search for it because it's all about searching. If you're trying to get that early push, it's people sticking stuff in search and the amount of competition you have. And then there's the big one. And the big one is demos. Demos. Oh boy. The damage that demos have done to the humble Let's Player is just horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. And here's why, okay? In demo week, all the demos come out for free. So, number one, why would you go and watch someone else play the game when you could just download it for yourself and go play it? Because it's free. Yeah. Okay, so number one. So that's killed a certain share of your views already. Secondly, if you are enjoying it, groovy. You know, but you want to play more and you can't because it's just a demo. So there you go. You get a very stop-start kind of effect on things. For channels that bounce around, like my good mate Nookrium, and the reason he's a good mate is because he started his channel in the same week that I did. And Nookrium's whole thing is that he bounces from game to game to game to game to game to game to game. His objective is to cover everything, as in the kind of indie game space. He does it very nicely. He's got a nice tone about him, and he's got double my number of subs as a result of it. No envy going on there. He's taken a different approach. He's also made nearly double the number of videos that I have, which is that would contribute. But that's only part of the problem with demos. Right? The second part is when the full thing comes out, you go looking at it and go, yeah, this is good. You jump on it early. You go, great, I've got early doors on it. And then you find there was a demo 6 months ago. And so your videos all rocking up there, they all pile into all of the search traffic for people who made videos on those demos. And once again, you get a null result out of it. You get a no change. It comes down to all of the cult of personality stuff that goes on, whereby I choose to watch X channel rather than Y. If they're both playing the game, I might watch both, but I do have a preference when it comes to one over the other. And that's great for the people you've already converted. Oh yeah, for the people who already go like, yes, I love the way you get this wrong, far better than the way I like anybody else getting it wrong. I shall watch you do it. Because there's only a certain number of hours in the day for you as a viewer, right? You can't bounce around from game to game to game to channel to channel. You eventually you're going to go, I'm going to go do something else now. Even if you've just got it on in the background, you want to find some long form stuff that you can slap on, so you're not having to tab out of your game every 20 minutes to load up a fresh flaming video. You want to be able to just leave it there and have it whistling away at you. So when Subnautica rolled around, and it rolled around before this plague of demos, when it rolled around, it was being covered by every big hitting channel out there. Absolutely every big hitting channel. Did I want to play more? You betcha. Yeah, I was super keen to play some more. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, the other game that nicks its aesthetic, or rather shares the same aesthetic, is No Man's Sky. I've played 250 hours of No Man's Sky. I played it on launch day. I streamed it from the second it was available on launch day, and that's the last coverage I gave it. Do I like No Man's Sky? Yeah, I really do. It's developed into a heck of a game because it's another survival game. Its angle being on exploration and different planets and spaceships. The only thing I don't like about No Man's Sky is I don't like the design of the spaceships. I think it's rubbish. I think it's a terrible design. But that's entirely subjective, right? There's no rationale behind it other than I think the spaceships are kind of bland and ugly. No, they're not even ugly. They're just insipid. That's what they are. It's all so cutesy poo and ruddy friendly, and I can't get behind that. I need space to be dangerous, and I need alien planets to feel hostile, and even the hostile critters that are kicking around on these different planets, they're all cutesy poo. Once you've seen one bouncing pineapple, you're going to go, this isn't hostile enough for me, and yet I've still played 250 hours of it. I think I've done 250 hours. It's a lot for me anyway. It's certainly enough to put it in kind of my top 20 most played games. But I've never covered it because, well, here's the other thing where it ties back to making videos, is you're always obsessed, or you start out obsessed with, 1, build a new audience, 2, satisfy the audience you already have. This is how I became Train Guy, you know. satisfy the audience you already have. You try out something that is semi-related to stuff you've done before, and lo and behold, because it's semi-related to stuff you've done before, the people who like the stuff you've done before all watch it. And you kind of go, woohoo! Yeah, this one's a flyer. My first train simulator videos, they did very, very nicely. Now, I mean, it helped, of course, that very few people were actually covering train simulation in any fashion at all, and that those who were doing it in quite a dry fashion, and they weren't doing it in a, I'm playing this to have fun, right? These days, my play for fun is slightly different, because as a player of it, just getting it wrong through ignorance only has a finite. Firstly, it's got a time limit on it. You can't be ignorant forever. You actually start learning a thing or two if you play enough of it. And then secondly, oh no, I've tripped over a red signal. There's only a certain number of times you can get a laugh from that. This, of course, said, I haven't driven the ICE-1, which is what we're in today. I haven't tried braking from full speed yet, so it's highly possible I run through a red signal. Just putting that out there, just saying, and I'm in the snow as well, so I'm going to need to brake even earlier. With that, good luck to all of us, frankly. I think the likelihood we end up with a signal past at danger error message going on there is pretty high. Let's do an exterior camera. Great. It's all good. Yeah, so I ended up being Trains Guy because everything that I did that was semi-train related was that much more successful than my regular passion for games. Which is weird. I enjoy playing the video. I'm enjoying playing this, you know. I work on this game. Actually, I don't work on it as much as I used to, but I work adjacent to this game. And yet I'm perfectly happy taking it for a spin. It's good. I can't say that it's not a good game, because it is. Once you understand how to play it. Yeah. Playing it for laughs only get you so far. What you need to be doing is trying to do it properly. If you try and do it properly, that's where it becomes fun. Because up until that point, it becomes, I've now got 20 minutes before the next thing happens. What am I going to do with myself? You've got to go, you've got to monitor everything and make sure that everything is ticking along. Meanwhile, you want to maintain as high a speed as you can without breaching the speed limit. I haven't dropped any points yet. Provided I don't screw up the stop at Castle Wilhelmshöhe, Gleis Dry, incidentally, then I'm on for a gold medal on this. Yeah, I know. Does that make me excited? It only makes me excited in the sense of if I get less than a gold medal, it makes me go, I'm probably going to have to do it again. You can't settle for a silver. No, you've got to chase the gold, or why get up in the morning? Frankly, I don't know. Maybe I'll do this route again. Maybe I won't. Who knows? You know, coming out the tunnel. Woo! Also, I do like taking action shots. That's fun as well. Honk, Sifa, sweet. 17 kilometers to our destination. So, why all this backstory about YouTubing? And you go, well, the reason for that is, herself said, must be 5 years ago now. She said, it's very rare that I see you play games just for you, rather than playing games for your audience. She's absolutely right. And I've got one game in my top 10 that I've only ever played just for me, and that's Cyberpunk. Because it is completely different to anything else that I play, and therefore, as much as I might break through to a different audience, you then drift into the other problem. You build up an audience of people that want to watch you do cat videos, right? They're over here. They're growing quite nicely, and you've got 20,000 of them, just say, right? 20,000 people who like watching cat videos. And then one day, you decide to make budgerigar videos instead. And because you also like budgerigars. right? You love a budgie. It makes you warm and fluffy on the inside. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing in the slightest. But of your cat video people, only about 10% want to watch you doing budgerigars, and so your budgerigar videos don't do very much. But you go, that's okay. I can afford to have some videos that aren't quite as successful. So you make a few more budgerigar videos, and you actually start attracting a budgerigar audience. And you go, hey, I'm building up a budgerigar audience. Hey, yeah. And now you've got a channel that's catering to 2 separate audiences. And so if you put out a video for one, you're only going to hit half your crowd. You put out a video for the other, you're only going to hit half your crowd. The crossover between the 2 is very limited. Unless you get to the point where you develop that notion of the true fan who will watch you read the phone book. Right, I've got to drop to 180 in 3.2 kilometres. Well, I reckon we can probably do that. If we throttle off and just leave it to coast a little bit, I'm going to need some brakes here so I don't overspeed. There you go. Bit of 1B. 1B will get us there by the time we hit the 2 kilometre mark, I think. Will it? No. I mean, within 2 kilometres, we'll hit 1B. What? Hit 1B? Yes. You've got 2 kilometres? Yes. You'll hit 180. I'm going to hit 180 early at this stage. No. Keep it going. 1B is good, gentle braking. You're going to need more braking than that. Come on. Oh, yes, he's got it. Oh, what a flipping boss. Nailed it. There we go. And new speed limit, and I'm already there. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's good. Flipping heck. My stop's in 4 clicks. Okay. All right. Oh, I've got 2 clicks until 140. Right, so you're now tailoring what you're making to 2 separate audiences, which means you're never hitting the hole. So it means that now you're half as successful all the time. And you go, oh, no, I'm half as successful all the time. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna help me grow, because getting views gets you recommended more frequently, and therefore puts you out in front of a broader audience. And yeah, so you can see the problem, right? Is that you're sacrificing your potential growth in order to service the 2 audiences that you've got. It gets worse if you bounce around even more than that. You're dealing with a multitude of subsets. There was a time where I covered 7 Days to Die on the channel. Love 7 Days to Die. As much as it is a flawed experience, absolutely love it. Between that and Eco and other kind of survival games, absolutely love it to bits. But none of it was helping. It was attracting a second audience, and I don't need a second audience. I need one audience to rule them all. And that's why I'm changing things up in the new year. I'm changing things up where if you, I meant to do a video. I probably still, no, I say probably. I'm still considering doing a video along the lines of, if you wanted to be a games-based YouTubist in the 2020s, where do you start? And you don't start by doing Let's Play. You're not going to win. No, you're not going to get there being a Let's Player. Holy cow! I'm like 4 minutes early. Oh, this is great. Yeah, you really need to be slowing down now. Oh, I am slowing down. Don't worry. Yeah, I've got this. 700 meters to go. I'm only doing 40 kilometers an hour. We can roll in to about the 300 meter mark, and then we'll cruise a bit more. It's very unlikely we're going to overshoot that red signal. We might undershoot the platform at this stage. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just keep it rolling. 30 kilometers an hour is plenty. I've got all the time in the world to get there, because I'm very, very capable. No, you just slowed down early. No, I'm very, very capable. Shut up. Right. Good. So, in summary, now, the interesting thing, in summary, what sort of a summary is that? So, I mean, my live streams on a Saturday, I played something radically different. I played Mountain Blade, because I really love Mountain Blade. I love it. It's a great game. I enjoyed the previous one. I like the new one better than the previous one. I really, really, really enjoy it as a game, and I think that comes through on all the streams that I've done. Plus, that Saturday evening stream has turned into a social club. That it attracts the one true fans out there. It attracts the people who are interested in the approach rather than the subject matter. The approach rather than the subject matter is all important. And so therefore with my 2023 plans, once I get to them, I'd intend to have a dozen videos queued up to go live at this point. Instead I've got 2. So yeah, I think my 2023 plans will come to fruition, or they'll come into their own in February rather than January. I do want to do justice to the tail end of Transport Fever before I write it off for a bit. So there you go. So Subnautica, is it something I play on my channel? Yes, it is, but I do it as a Saturday night live stream. I think that would be the perfect time to do it. I have previously mooted doing Satisfactory, because that would work well as the Saturday night special. Oh yeah, I'm going to inch in. I've got all the time in the world. There's no need for me to be quick about this. The only thing I need is to be accurate. Pro tip, for those of you chasing the high scores, you can go a little bit beyond, but don't stop before the target. If you stop before the target, you lose more points than if you go just slightly beyond it. So there you go, brakes on. That should do the trick. Beautiful. And then crank the doors open. Boop. Great. Yep, there we go. Job done. Job's done. I've done the job. The job has been completed, and I drove that. Perfect. Maybe slowed down a little early, but I managed to keep my speed up all the way through. And therefore, I'm ahead of schedule by a lot. Oh, yeah. Good. Right. So there you go. Subnautica. Would I play it? Yes, absolutely I would play it. I think it would make for a fine Saturday night kind of a game. Why haven't I played it more? It's because my attention is split between between this caper that I've got going on here. So as much as I didn't talk about Subnautica for the entire time, hopefully, there's my gold medal. Hopefully you found that suitably interesting. I'm in Colonel Failure. Stephen, thank you very much for the request. I'll be back with more. I've got three of these left to do. And I'll be back with those before you can say the phrase I'm thinking of. I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.